Hi, I'm Helena Oda.
And hi, my name is Abigail Royster, and we have been chosen as 2020 California Campus Compact Student Fellows for College of the Canyons. And we are here to talk to you a little bit about our community service programs this semester.
Awesome. So I'll start off with explaining one of the projects that we're involved with, which is the Place Project. And the Place Project is bringing the concept behind it as bringing theory to practice in our community engagement.
A series of action teams that focus on housing insecurity and affordability within the Santa Clarita Valley, where College of the Canyons is, where we live. And we are working on piloting a safe parking program for people that are living in their cars. We're contacting landlords. And the second project we've been working on is called Engage the Vote, which focuses on nonpartisan voter awareness and registration in our community, particularly during the election season, at least this semester.
When we're reflecting about community, one of the aspects that we've talked about is how do we make it personal? How do we engage with our community in a way that's effective? So in a traditional academic setting, the traditional route has been to volunteer hours, a specific amount of hours. But what we've found that's interesting about this project during COVID is instead of adding up hours, we've been focusing on impact and how much time we're investing into the project and just contributing what we have. And in that, something that I've noticed is not just myself, but in other students as well. I can see that when when they're thinking about how they can add to the project versus how many hours they can add to the project, it's definitely more impactful because they're thinking creatively about their skills. They're thinking about what do I as an individual have that can add to the community as a whole. I'm getting my degree in business administration and business economics. And how I see this applying, which I found really interesting, is learning about the economic issues that impact communities. And so by being part of this project, it's definitely inspired me to look at how you can take something that seems so cut and dry in terms of understanding mathematically how things affect people, but actually looking at economic policies and looking at how people react emotionally to those economic policies.
And so going into law, when I think about that, it makes me excited because I'm a very purpose-driven person and I need to feel like I'm making a difference with whatever I'm doing. And so I'm excited that the skills that I'm learning right now are going to be so applicable to my career in the future.
I agree. I think one of those things is I think what this project has taught us is to look at our community and look at what barriers are in are in motion, right? So like the safe parking project helped us look at, okay, why is it so important for people to have safe parking? Because people don't like to look at cars that look like they're abandoned on streets. But are we saying, like, what does that say? Are we saying that we rather not look at abandoned cars and we'd rather look at people who are just sleeping on sidewalks? So I think that this project has really made us think about, okay, what is really the inconvenience to society? Is it people that we have these stigmas about? Is it what we're doing as people to empower our community? How we look at other people matters.
And there's a really big difference between making people comfortable and solving the problems. And what the Place Project seeks to do is to solve problems. You know, we want to bring awareness. We want to make people uncomfortable so that change can happen because that's the only way change can happen.
Right. I agree with that. I think it's being able to take the risk to have that radical hospitality point of view. It all stems down to if we just look at the foundational issues and we think about, okay, how can we make a win-win situation for everyone where it's not just about the people that have the money to fix the problems, but it's also about the people who actually live in our communities. By going forward into the future, we want to be able to have a respectful way of how we go about it in terms of not just demolishing the things that make people feel whole, but thinking about what's important to people in the community, what makes them feel alive, what makes them feel safe, what makes them feel unconditionally loved, what makes them feel like they have a home to come back to, even if it's not entirely like a physical building, but just the community in general. I guess by meeting these people, even though it's via Zoom, by being able to see people, ask them questions, ask them what they need from us versus us just, going in one day and volunteering for a couple hours. It's been really nice just to have conversations with people, learn what is needed in our communities. Um, so in that sense, this has been a really good experience.
And a second thing that I've taken away from CCC and the Place Project is that it is essential to make abstract ideas concrete programs and make change, because often in academia you'll take a class, you'll take like a history class or you'll take an English class, and you'll learn these soft skills about communicating and about arguing and about, critical thinking. But it's not often that you have a real life situation where you'll think back to those classes and be like, this is where this comes into my life. This is where it comes into play. And one of the great things about being a first year college student and being involved in the Place Project and Engage the Vote is that I have had that opportunity, and I have noticed there are things that I am learning that are not going to be dumped out of my head in 6 months, that I'm going to forget about. The things are so relevant to my life. And I really appreciate that I've been able to gain that perspective so quickly in my life with this project. So we thank California Campus Compact for inviting us as fellows. And we are excited to see what we will be able to do with Place Project and Engage the Vote within the next year. Thank you.